Let's build 3 more projects using cedar fence pickets. Let's begin. For project number 1, all we need is some scrap leftover pieces that are at least 8 inches long. If you don't happen to have any scrap from some of those previous projects, just buy 1 board. Now cut those boards down into 8 inches long, and now we need to measure across the board and find the center. Normally these boards are around 5.5 inches. This is about a 1/16 over, so I'm still going to mark it at halfway, which would be about 2 3/4. Now we want to measure the thickness of our boards. Usually these are about 5/8, and this one's actually about 9/16, which is pretty close. So we need to take half of that 9/16. We're going to go halfway to each side of that mark that we just made. Next, we're going to grab a speed square, and going from those 2 little side marks that we just made, we're going to make sure this is flush on the bottom there, and we're going to draw a line up to the 4-inch mark. And that should be halfway the length of the boards that we just cut. So I'm going to do a little mark right here, and then we're going to draw that line all the way up to that mark there. Then we're going to repeat that to the second line on the opposite side of the center. Once both of those lines are drawn in place, we want to connect them at the top just with a straight line. Now, we need to cut out this center section on both of these boards, so we're going to have to clamp them together, and I'm going to use a jigsaw to cut that out. Now look at what I've cut so far. If you notice, I've cut 2 straight lines going in. Try not to damage this piece too badly on the inside here, because we're going to use part of it for part of the project. So the end down here, I'm just going to kind of cut over and then kind of just chisel this out to make it as flat as possible. Once I have all this cut out, I need to do a test fit. So I'm going to turn them around, try and slide them together, and they're a little on the tight side. In this case, I'm going to have to go in here and just ever so slightly remove just a little bit more from one side or the other. So make sure we clamp these back together so they're nice and even, and remove that. And once you have those cut to size, they should be able to fit back together. And let's give this another shot. Alright, almost perfect. Now if by chance when you put these together like this, they should be pretty even on the ends down here. If not, you can always adjust it by making this center one a little bit longer, but don't go too long or it can look really odd. Once you have these cutouts just right, we actually want to realign them so that everything is nice and square. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but you do want to get them pretty close. Then we're going to clamp these back together, and we're going to start cutting a little triangle off of each of these corners. Now I'm going to measure in 1.5 inches to a 45-degree angle across here and cut those out. Then we're going to grab those pieces and we're going to slide them together. Look at there, it's coming together nicely. Any guesses on what it is? Well, we got one more step. Remember those little inside pieces I told you to be careful and not damage? Well, look them over, figure out which one you like the best, and then we're actually going to cut it right in half. Then we want to take that little piece, particularly the side that has the curve on it, and we want to either glue it or stake it or however you wish right there on the top of it so that it looks like a little stem. Now you got any guesses? If you said a pumpkin, you are correct. Now I wanted to give you one slight variation. This is the one we just made with the 1.5 inch angles, and this has 1 inch. So it's only a 1/2 inch difference, but it does give you an entirely different look. In either case, I hope you get a chance to make one. For project number 2, we only need 1 board, or again, some scrap that's at least 12 to 16 inches long. Also, make sure your board doesn't have too many knots in it. I have one right there, so it's no big deal. But if you have a bunch along the top, we may need to try and flip it over or just pick out another piece, because we're going to have to drill a few holes along the top here. Now on the top of this board here, we want to measure down 1 inch and make a mark, and do that on both sides. That way we don't get too close to the top. Now once we have those 2 marks there, just get a straight edge, whether it's another piece of wood or maybe a level or whatever you have, and draw a light line across there, not too dark, but just a light line so we know exactly where that is. This next step might vary just slightly on yours depending on the width of your board here. Mine's right about 16 inches. So going from the outside edge along that line, I came in 1 inch on each side, make a mark. I came over 2 inches, made a mark. 1 inch again, make a mark. 2 inches, make a mark. And then again 1 inch. We're now going to drill some holes at each of those marks. I did grab some scraps that I'm going to use as a base because using scraps will keep you from blowing out some big holes or fibers on the back of your board here. Also, I'm going to use a drill guide so that I know that the holes will be straight up and down. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch drill bit for each of these holes because I'm going to be using some 1/4 inch twine to go in and out of each of those holes. I think that'll be a nice little addition to that board and look pretty. Once you have all the holes in place, get some sandpaper and go over the entire surface. You want to smooth this out at least around those holes so that it gets a little bit smoother. Now, of course, you can leave it a little rustic or you can make this nice and smooth and pretty. That is totally up to you. It's now time to start lacing our twine through our holes. Now, if you've ever tried to put twine or string or anything for that matter that's a rope form and through a small hole, it can easily fray the ends and make it very difficult. Here's a little tip to fix that. Grab some tape. This is just painter's tape, but just about any tape will do. You want to rip off a small piece, about like so, and then you want to wrap it around the end of our rope or twine. Now you want to make the end of it out here real small, but you want it to be real tight also around our rope or twine. And once we get it in place, you can kind of bend that corner in, twist it up a little bit so that it makes almost a little point. Now this should allow you to go through that hole and pull it through a lot easier. Now we're going to take that tape and we're going to push it through the back side here. Start on the back side, and once it starts coming through, start pulling it at the same time you're pushing it. Look how easy that was to go through that hole. Now we're just going to fish this line back and forth through this board all the way through to the end. Once we have the rope going back and forth through all the holes, I want to leave a little bit of extra room on the front here. Have them just bulge just a little bit, just enough you could slightly get your finger in there. Then on the back here, you can pull these really tight because we would like those to be as flush as possible. On the back side here, you can tie this off however you would like. I actually did a couple knots, one on each end. And I'm going to put a dab of hot glue there just so they don't come undone. But you could always take that string and run over and tie a knot in the center and use that to maybe hang this. In my case, I'm going to put some nails to this and hang it on the wall that way. Alright, it's basically done. Any guesses on what this might be? If you said a holder for sunglasses, you are correct. My wife has a variety of sunglasses. She likes to keep them in the garage near the car so she can change them out wherever she likes, or just reach up and grab one in case she forgets one. This will allow her to have them nice and displayed. She can grab them really easy, and I hope you get a chance to make something similar. For project number 3, we should only need 1 fence picket. I'll first cut down that picket into 3 pieces at 18 inches long. This first piece we're going to keep whole and push it aside. The second piece we actually cut a 4-inch strip out of. Now of course you can use a jigsaw to do this, or if you're really careful, a circular saw, but if you happen to have a table saw, that would be the fastest and easiest. That leftover piece, we're just going to put it to the side. Now the last piece we actually cut into 3 sections. I have 2 pieces here at 2 inches wide, and that last piece we're going to just discard of it as well. Now we're going to grab one of those 2-inch wide strips that we just cut, and we want to grab a measuring tape and a pencil. We're going to measure out 4 inches, make a mark, and then go cut that off. And then we're going to repeat that 3 more times so that we'll have a total of 4 4-inch sections. Once we have those 4 pieces cut, we want to grab the 4-inch wide section that we cut earlier. And we're going to take 2 of these pieces and then we're going to line them up with the outer edge, making sure they're nice and flush with that board. And then we're going to take the other 2 and we want to kind of just put them roughly into position. We want to try and get 3 somewhat equal sections. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but I mean, if that's what you want, you can do that. I'm just going to eyeball this, get them pretty close. And once I'm happy, I'm just going to draw some light lines on both sides of the board so I know exactly where they go. Then we're going to grab the other 2-inch strip. We're going to take that 4-inch piece, we're going to line it up along the edge about like so. Then grab one of those 4-inch pieces that we just made those marks with, and we're actually going to make another mark. We want to press these together, get them pretty close. And then we're going to make a mark here, just so we know where this front board intersects those when everything's in position. Then using that mark as a reference, I drew an angle here, this line that goes from this back corner to where that intersects. And we're going to cut all 4 of these off, all 4 pieces. And if it's done correctly, that angle should line up just about like so with all 4 pieces. Then reposition those 4 pieces against those marks that we did earlier. And we then can slowly attach the back here just to make sure everything's going to fit. And it should look something like that. Now that we know that everything is going to fit in place and align nicely, it's a good idea to carefully pull this all apart, possibly even make some additional marks on these pieces down here so we don't lose positioning. And then we're going to either glue, screw, or nail this together. That is totally up to you. And it is basically finished. Any clue on what it is? This would be considered like an old school mail slot for a wall. I know we don't get as much snail mail as we used to, but it's a great way when we get our bills to separate them out who gets what. Now, of course, you can always get some little hooks and put those on the front, and these would be great to hang your keys. Specifically, let's say one person always gets his mail in the left slot, he can hang his keys right there in the middle. The second person can hang her keys right there in that spot. However you would like. Now this can be hung up in a variety of different ways. I'd probably suggest maybe routing out a couple holes so you can put them on some nails, or you could just add some screws or nails straight through there. It's whatever you'd like. And there we go, 3 projects made from cedar fence pickets, and I really hope you get a chance to make some of these. So get out in your shop and have fun building.